Boxing experts have shared their insane expectations for the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson battle. Boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya has voiced his stresses over Mike Tyson's prosperity in the forthcoming conflict, admitting he's a piece afraid for Iron Mike, assuming the battle extends past the third round, however. Tyson has been out of expert boxing since his 2005 misfortune to Kevin McBride, and his last session was a display with Roy Jones Jr. 4 years back. He's back and preparing for the battle, subsequent to hauling out of the booked July match. As a result of ulcer, Tyson has gotten back to the rec center, proclaiming he's prepared to step once again into the ring as the battle approaches. Hypothesis is wild, and Oscar De La Hoya voiced his interest about Tyson's chances against the more youthful Paul during a new episode of the Club Shea digital broadcast. "Come on, I saw him a day or two ago, D." La Hoya commented. He further added, "I love Tyson. He has a puncher's opportunity in the initial 3 rounds. I'm somewhat frightened of Tyson getting injured after the third round. Jake Paul's a major kid. He's 27 years of age. Tyson's 58. I'm glad for him that he's bringing in cash, that he actually cherishes it. He's getting in there and he's in shape, yet be cautious in the lead up to their profoundly expected confrontation." The issue kid improved the stakes by offering Tyson a gigantic $5 million reward in the event that Iron Mike can go on until the fourth round of their conflict 1 month from now. In a video shared on his betting stage structure Mixer TikTok, Paul nonchalantly leans back shirtless on a lounge chair, energetically heaping cash atop his phony punch Mikey. "In the event that you can endure multiple rounds with me, and I'll give you an extra $5 million, Paul pronounced the American's offer. Accompanied a fascinating turn. The issue kid uncovered that assuming Tyson neglected to endure past 4 adjusts, the boxing symbol would need to convey an enduring sign of his misfortune to the rising star. He added, "Yet, on the off chance that you don't, then you need to get tattoo that says 'I love Jake Paul,' arrangement or no arrangement." Up to this point, Tyson's group has not answered the stunning bet. Since venturing into the expert confining ring 2020, Paul has kept areas of strength for in the game, flaunting a 10-1 record. His only misfortune in the squared circle came because of Tommy fierceness last year. Now at 27, Paul faces Iron Mike, closely following a staggering sixth-round knockout of previous UFC champion Mike Perry in a genuine trade with Jimmy Kimmel. Mike Tyson was tested about his state during the forthcoming battle with Paul, to which he answered, "I will be so high off life, better believe it." And further, Kimmel asked, "Will you be high on Mary Jane too?" Tyson didn't preclude it, conceding that is plausible too. The discussion took a silly turn when Kimmel commented, "Good gracious, my bet is getting lower as we talk." Questions have been projected by fans over Tyson's obligation to the coordinate. In his discussion with Kimmel, Iron Mike demanded his thorough preparation system, expressing, "I'm preparing very hard. I complete 6 hours every day. I start at 11 o'clock. Furthermore, could leave the exercise center at 5 o'clock. A shocked Kimmel scrutinized the force of the preparation. "Good gracious, no 11 o'clock. So that is 6 hours in a row, or is there a midday break?" Tyson yielded. There was, to be sure, a short recess, provoking a surprised response from Kimmel. "Good gracious, as the commencement starts." Joe Rogan and his visitors have previously made an appearance featuring what they see as the ideal result for the conflict. In episode 163 of the Jerry Show, Joe Rogan accumulated with previous warriors Cave Thomas, John Line, and Matt Serra to examine the eagerly awaited conflict between Iron Mike and the issue kid. During their discussion, Rogan voiced his stress over Tyson's prosperity, transparently addressing how the boxing legend should feel confronting Paul at this phase of his life. The Bellator FC symbol noticed that Tyson appeared to truly live it up while building up the matches. It was without a doubt a great situation for him. Would it be a good idea for him? He faced route. Many would credit it to his age. Anyway, a triumph over Paul would essentially improve his inheritance. Rogan offered his viewpoints, expressing that Tyson was an impressive power. He commented that at last Mike Tyson was a beast and proposed that if Tyson would figure out how to close the distance and release a strong blend on Jake Paul, it would probably send Paul reeling. Rogan added that seeing such an occasion would be wonderful when it was Sanctum Thomas's turn. He stated that Tyson winning by knockout would be the best thing that could happen to the planet. The podcaster proceeded to say that the most ideal result would be for Jake Paul to rapidly understand that he was facing Mike Tyson. He noticed that basically for the main round or two, Paul would come to see exactly who Tyson was in the ring. Obviously, this feeling was shared by the veterans too. This matchup stands apart as one of the most enthralling in proficient boxing history. This leads us to consider how the baddest man on earth would get a knockout against his adversary. Luckily, Rogan has a point of view on that as the discussion advanced. Rogan referenced that Tyson was completely fit for taking Paul out, stressing that assuming Paul took an off-base action, zigging when he ought to have crossed. And on the off chance that Tyson figured out how to close the distance out of the blue, the knockout could occur anyway. Rogan likewise called attention to that Tyson confronted critical difficulties. He added that Tyson had an abundance of involvement and layers of assaults imbued in his psyche, taking note of that Tyson had likely neglected more about boxing than Jake Paul had at any point advanced anyway. The Geriav was very much aware of Paul's great battling abilities. He simply trusted that the issue Kid wouldn't prevail with regards to taking Tyson out. It would surely be a tragic story for Rogan to observe the famous fighter face route at 58 years old, and large numbers of Iron Mike's dependable fans would partake in that distress too. Francis Ngannou, previous UFC heavyweight champion, has divided his bits of knowledge on the impending conflict among Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Various industry specialists and individuals from people in general have communicated their concerns viewing Tyson's well-being as he plans for his confrontation with the issue kid on November 15th. Their interest strengthened following a new episode during a standard flight where the veteran experienced the ulcer discharge up that brought about the dropping of the first match. Ngannou then again has an elective perspective, and he hasn't been reluctant to voice it to Jake Paul. In a meeting with Paul, all-alone webcast BS with Jake Paul, the hunter was examined concerning different subjects, remembering his perspectives for the battle. Ngannou made a wonderful entry into the boxing scene last year, clashing with Tyson fierceness. Paving the way to that battle, he leveled up his abilities close by the unbelievable Iron Mike, who, as per NG, actually exhibits momentous ability at 58 years old, considering his reliability too. Tyson Ngannou confronted inquiries from journalists during a PFL media scrum last month in regards to his perspectives on the impending match. He certainly proclaimed that he accepts Tyson will bring Paul down. This drove the issue kid to challenge Ngannou on the point while addressing him on his webcast. Jake said, "You addressed some correspondent yesterday or the other day, and you said that Mike Tyson will beat Mike, and you answered without a second thought, saying, I really do listen, I have seen Tyson move around to show me stuff, and I resembled quiet down. He has still got it. We're discussing Mike. Brother Mike is something different. He is a speciate, albeit many fans see a Tyson triumph as dependent exclusively on a knockout." Francis Ngannou has the viewpoint that the previous world heavyweight champion could likewise get a success by choice, looking for a benefit against his adversary. Jake Paul asked of his visitor, assuming that there were explicit things he ought to be careful about while planning to confront Mike Tyson, and Ngannou answered by saying, "You really want to keep an eye out for all that Mike will move from this side to this side without you knowing. In another situation, I would resemble, okay, we should go Jake, yet with this, I'm similar to brother. How about we be genuinely?" The profoundly expected fight was booked for July 20th, yet it must be delayed when Mike Tyson's physical issue erupted on a flight. Many stay fearful about the possibility of a 58-year elderly person, possibly wrestling with huge well-being challenges, venturing into the ring against a 27-year-old in pinnacle state of being. While the Texas Division of Authorizing and Enlistment has supported the session as an expert heavyweight man, it will comply with a changed arrangement of rules intended to limit the gamble of serious injury to the more seasoned warrior Mike in a takeoff from the conventional brief adjusts. This matchup will highlight 8 adjusts, each enduring 2 minutes. Furthermore, the contenders will sunrise 14-0 gloves, rather than the standard 10-ounce utilized in heavyweight challenges. As is standard, the session might end with a knockout, and the result will be authoritatively recorded on the two contenders' proficient records. When Tyson ventures into the ring against Paul in their exceptionally expected Dallas standoff, he will be a stunning 31 years more established. This age hole has started worries among battle fans worldwide for the amazing symbol. Anyway, Wrath, the one who bears his name, is by all accounts certain that he will shock everybody and give the issue kid an example. The Wanderer Lord said, "Tune in on the off chance that Mike Tyson hits anyone. I couldn't care less, assuming he's 90. He will take them unconscious. Ain't he clearly? I need to back Mike Tyson. I'm named after the legend, and I'll back him as he generally backs me. I'm supporting Mike for the knockout. Come on." Mike Tyson hasn't entered a ring since his battle with incredible fighter Roy Jones Jr. Iron Mike had all the earmarks of being a sad remnant of the individual who frightened heavyweight fighters during the 1980s and 1990s anyway. He is sure that he can return to the past against Paul, who he says is unequipped for harming him. Might I at any point be straightforward? Tyson asked his group while participating in a meeting with Esquire. He added, "I don't figure he can hurt me in spite of the fact that he hasn't contended expertly since his 2005 misfortune tee." Kevin McBride, Tyson stays certain that he actually has the stuff to surpass Paul. The New Yorker said, "He won't hit me with a punch battle." Devotees overall are addressing why Tyson, approaching retirement age, will risk his well-being in a matchup against the strong Paul.